Today on D for Documentary, we will be going through the book of Genesis, chapters 1 and 2. We will give you Bible verses and important facts. We will have a short segment on every episode of D for Documentary called Random Facts. And now, please enjoy the program. The book of Genesis, chapters 1 and 2. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. This is the very first verse in the book of Genesis, and it is also the very first verse in the Bible. In the beginning, there was nothing. God did not exist until the Big Bang happened. This is where the verse comes in, saying that God created the heavens and the earth. In the rest of Genesis chapter 1, verses 2 through 31, each verse begins with the word "and." It begins God's creation of the world. He explains all the things He did and all the things He said. Some example verses from Genesis chapter 1. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light, from Genesis 1, verse 3. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness, from Genesis 1, verse 4. And now it's time for Random Facts, the short segment for D for Documentary. If you have 2 million pennies, then you have $20,000. And the word goodbye came from Godbye, which came from God be with you. That's all for today for Random Facts. Join us next time for more random facts on D for Documentary. Please read along while I read from Genesis chapter 2, verses 1 through 5. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day God ended His work which He had made, and He rested on the seventh day from all His work which He had made. And God blessed the seventh day, and sanctified it, because that in it He had rested from all His work which God created and made. There are the generations of the heavens and the earth which they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. Before we go, let's review of Genesis chapter 2. The heavens and the earth are completed, and God rests of the seventh day, declaring it holy. The rest of the chapter gives us details about the sixth day. God creates man from the dust of the ground. He places man in the garden He created in Eden. And the garden has a river and many different edible fruit trees. That's all for this episode of D for Documentary. We'll see you next time for part 2 of the story of Genesis, where we go through chapters 3 through 5. If you have any comments or would like to make suggestions for future episodes, please leave them in the comments below.